there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and it's time for another edition of No Capes, where I talk about comic books that don't have to do with superheroes. And a lot of my books feel a little off kilter today. So, these are comics for the week of June 25th, 2014. Let's start right off with Saga issue number 20. Still really love Saga. Saga's a great book. This issue, though, I don't know. It was missing something, and I'm not sure what that was. Of course, we have the wonderful opening scene that this book always has in it. The first page is always a splash page, and it's always, I don't know, you can call it controversial, you can call it shocking, you can call it whatever you want to along those lines. Doesn't bother me. I don't have an issue with oral sex, so, you know, whatever. And I don't have an issue with girls with beaver tails, I guess. Any rate, yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem like stuff really progressed in this issue, and normally I don't have an issue with that, but there wasn't the great dialogue or character moments that that usually get me and make me go, I don't care whether the book goes anywhere or not. I mean, we had one huge moment that happens in this with Princess Four. I'm assuming she's called Princess Four. That is interesting, that could lead to all kinds of stuff. I'm not sure, though, because we really haven't been given enough weight of how important Prince Four is, Prince Four's heir is, and exactly how that works out. It feels like we're moving into a different story here. It also feels like we're kind of in between a bunch of stuff. We get some great art, a great moment where Alana takes some drugs, and we have this kind of fractured framing and whatnot that I really liked. But yeah, this is the first issue, issue 20, where I feel like we're in between story, and it doesn't feel transitional so much as it just feels like we don't know where we're going. So, still really like Saga, no fear of dropping it or anything like that, but just kind of surprised with this issue. It just didn't have all the grab that normally a Saga didn't have, those moments that just make me go, man, this is the comic. Kind of thing. So, 20 issues in, so that's great. Kind of surprising, though, too. Deadly Class, this is issue number 6, end of the story arc. I liked last issue a whole lot, the way it ended, the cliffhanger, the beating that happened. That was all crazy, extremely intense. This one, most of the entire book takes place in an alley. It's supposed to be intense. It has some tense moments and whatnot, but this issue lost a lot of the intensity that I felt the last issue had. Here, we kind of established the characters again. We certainly established there's a main like villain that is in direct opposition to our protagonist. He introduces himself to the group. Basically says, I'm going to come and get you at some point, so you better be ready. Basically throws a warning shot out there. So is the book from this point forward going to be about getting ready to deal with that old childhood nemesis or not? I'm not sure. The art in this thing is wonderful. I love the framing. I love there's some great shots that are camera angles, like from above going down, that are really wonderful. I really enjoy those. There's some interesting thought dialogue at the end of the book, which did kind of lend it to feeling like it's paying some sort of homage to the movies of the late 80s and early 90s, the Brat Pack type stuff, and that sort of thing. So that was kind of fun, because when this book was advertised as coming out, it kind of hinted that it might be that kind of a thing, that it would be, some of those movies, with assassins in it and whatnot. Still really enjoying the book, but I felt like the last issue had just all this massive amount of energy, and here the come down from that wasn't as satisfying as what I would have liked to have it to been. Next up is Trees, issue number 2. I'm really digging this book. I enjoyed this issue. This issue basically, whereas last issue kind of hopped around the world and showed us different places that these alien trees had landed. This issue focuses specifically on the Antarctic and these kind of poppies that are growing off of the tree. We established some characters, a little more characterization of the characters who are in that place, and the strangeness that these plants are growing, and that sort of a thing. I really enjoyed it. I like the build up. The art is fabulous. These covers are awesome. I absolutely love this cover. I'm excited. I'm excited for this book, excited to see where it goes. I'm assuming like the next issue we get is going to probably give us one of these other 3 or 4 places that we've been introduced to. 4 places. Like I said, this one focused on this one. I'm betting the next issue is going to focus on another one. And as these stories all kind of blend together as to what's going on with these trees, this alien force that is there, and how people are dealing with it. Still really great, really excited, all around great book. Next is Revival issue 21. This is a strange issue in the fact that Dana is in New York now. She is a special liaison to the FBI. They think they have their own revivalists here. We do get some interesting storylining here in the whole trafficking of revival parts. And what does that mean? The whole hokum about you consume these parts or whatever, and then you'll live forever also or whatever. Well, there is some actual truth behind that, we find out, which is somewhat interesting. The really thing I think is interesting is at the very end of this, we see some of these glowing creatures are in New York. So that'll be interesting to see exactly how that all pans out. And of course, back in Wasilla, we still have the anti-government guy is now further messing with the sheriff. And so that'll all be interesting to see how. Still an interesting, great book. Lots and lots of layers. Really fascinating. I continue just to enjoy this for all those layers that are there. The slow build up and moving of all these different parts and pieces, and see how it all works together. And this whole New York thing is kind of a surprise to me. It's not someplace I thought we would go. I thought we'd always stay within the quarantine, and that's all there was going to be. So interesting to see what else pans out for this, or if she's sent back right away. Yeah, cool stuff. And then issue number 7 of Letter 44, a special issue drawn by Jolie, who is known for doing Helheim. A lot of you know her from Helheim. Did the art in this issue. This is kind of a backstory of some of the people who are involved in the space voyage and how they came about being inducted into being part of this crew that's basically being sent out with probably no intentions of ever coming back. Not a necessary issue, I don't think, to know what's going on, because it's not part of the main plot and whatnot, but still interesting. As far as like a filler issue, and I think that's really kind of what it is, to give the artist a break to catch up, or probably that sort of thing. Still enjoyable, still interesting. Makes me kind of think, wow, what would this book be like if we had a better artist on it? But still excited for the book. Still looking forward to, what's next. Let's get on with the other things and whatnot. I was at a con recently that Charles Soule was at. We talked a little bit about Letter 44. He's really excited for the next things going forward. He's taking another trip to the Kennedy Center in Cape Canaveral to explore and ask more questions about space and that sort of thing. I think so. He's geared up and has as accurate as he can for a comic book purpose, but still enjoyable. Looking forward to next. Looking forward to the next storyline and seeing where that all goes to. Stray Bullets, issue number 4. And I guess I should call it Stray Bullets Killers, issue number 4. Interesting. I didn't think we were going to go back and talk about characters that we'd met before, but we do here. Hard to really explain this book, other than it's about kind of like what real people might be like. They're just living an extremely traffic accident sort of a life in the 80s. This is more relationships and how screwed up relationships are and how screwed up some families are, first loves, and drugs and guns and kind of heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching. I really enjoy this. It's definitely not a book for everybody, but it's black and white, and I enjoy those black and white pages. I get more pages in this than I do a normal comic, so I'm happy. Just a really interesting, just to see what happens. It's kind of like reality TV, but in a good way, but tragically so. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. And finally, for this time, we're going to talk. This is the Massive issue number 24, the end of this arc having to do with Mary. Ends in kind of a big way. I don't know how important this storyline was. I don't know that it really gives us a lot more about Mary, which is kind of what I was hoping for when we got this arc about Mary. She does have a baby by the end of this. She does call Cal at the end of this, so I'm assuming we're going to get it all back together. We've got 6 issues to go before the Massive is done. Curious to see what happens, what gets answered for us, and what is going to be happening. I'm interested. But this 3-issue arc was okay. It wasn't really gripping like a lot of this other stuff is. There was no point where it really me questioning anything. I mean, it points out, to some degree, the way women are treated in the Middle East, and how smart Mary is that she wheels and deals to ensure that that they get what they need and don't end up being enslaved or just taken out in the desert and killed. But we think we've already established that Mary's pretty smart. There have been better storylines that have established how smart Mary is. So, yeah, this was an okay arc. Looking forward to what's next. Looking forward to seeing how this whole thing draws up and comes to an end. And that is it for No Capes this time around and the off-kilter version of it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later on in the week. Bye.